Oh, that's so
good one, buddy.
That's my favorite thing on this planet. I love it a lot.
I wish I was in Tijuana eating barbecue Tijuana.
All right, hello, welcome to episode number
10. We've made it to episode 10.
It's probably more than, I think it's like 12. I think we're at 12 episodes right now.
Well, according to the count I made, it's 12.
12.
It's 10 because
10.
number 9 was. Hang on, let me check this crap. This quality content. Yeah, our last one was grading the NHL deadline. This is.
All it took was 1 minute for us to lose the plot. Like, literally.
Oops.
Oopsie daisies.
Episode 10! We made it to episode 10!
You know, we've done 10 episodes of this. And not to mention lots of watch-alongs that we've also done on top of that. So I can say that things are going pretty well.
And we actually have a Discord server now. The Sickos Cabana, where you can come and talk about Sickos content, and maybe we might have a couple watch-alongs that are exclusive to the Discord.
AKA, it's every Saturday. It is the Sickos Cabana will feature the games that we've missed because we were at work.
Yep, and it's something important to remember. Every single host, every single bot, there is Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes, it is a Sickos Cabana. We serve shitty beer, have shitty Mario Kart, but there's sports.
And Gilbert
Gottfried and Iron Man, specifically the Iron Man that thought he was gonna die from Iron Man 2. Not when he realizes he can actually save himself. The one that thinks he's gonna die and is going out with a bang. Our favorite delusional drug addict. That's that guy.
Robert Downey Jr.
That Tony Stark or Iron Man. That's what's there. Anyways, join Sickos Cabana. Links in the Discord. The link is in the description below. There's going to be community sports watch-alongs, and there's going to be lots of stuff. It's not just going to be the XFL, it's going to be the NHL as well. Especially NHL playoffs. I think we'll be probably doing offline watch-alongs. Not to mention sometimes baseball. But, sometimes it's a place to gather around, watch some sports.
Shoot the shit, as it were.
Yes. And I'm overhauling. It's my old server, so I'm kind of overhauling everything, so that way we'll have like our own dedicated chats. There's also will be the predictors for the upcoming NFL season that is going to be going on there. That's also still football season, which I'm still kind of trying to piece what I want to do with it, but it's definitely going to be all the NFL games. I'm debating if I wanted to do ranked college football games. Like ranked teams versus ranked teams. Like they have to have the funny little number.
And that number is surprisingly not 69.
Yeah, they don't go up to
420.
Yeah. Like what? There's only like 126 like top level college programs.
Yeah.
Lame.
130, I believe. I don't know. Around
do they include the Sun Belt? Or they include like the Sun Belt, Mountain West at all?
Yeah, I believe that includes the
FBS. Yeah,
FBS.
The group of 5.
The group of 5, because I know like the core, like the top, the king of everything is the SEC, and then it's like the Big Ten, followed by like the Pac-12, Big 12, and then the ACC.
Yeah,
I think the ACC is higher than the Pac-12. I think Pac-12 is probably the lowest.
Pac-12, I'm putting at 3 only because they have most of the quarterback prospects next year.
Yeah, kind of. It's about 12 more because of the
counterpoint. No, you're wrong.
Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams.
Spencer
Art's
Rattler?
top
No,
prospects.
I am the only Spencer. It is me.
I said oh yeah. I said Bo Nix. Michael
Spencer
Phoenix
Rattler's in the
Jr.
SEC.
Oh, Spencer Rattler's Gamecocks.
Yeah,
No.
SEC.
I could have sworn he was
I
a
meant to say
Oklahoma
Bo
boy.
Nix.
He was, but he was in Oklahoma, but then he transferred,
he
and played
transferred.
at South Carolina last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good prospects. I even hear Washington State might have a guy that scouts are interested, but only like next year. Pac-12 is gonna be really interesting after this coming season. Done. They're gonna be at the bottom again.
Go
Yeah.
Clones!
So, yeah, they're gonna be at the bottom again. So, anywho, we're here. There has been 5 3/4 weeks of the XFL have been played.
My God. Have
Isn't
we really
it
come
just
this far?
amazing? It has made it further than 2.0.
It has made it further than, you know.
It has probably made it further than 2.0.
Yeah.
It can dawn the title that
It has lasted longer than, it lasted longer than the Ouya.
Yeah,
It survived COVID. Let's just say it like that.
it survived. That's all you need to know. Not
Up close and personal.
everything can say that it survived the vid, but it did. Especially with I think it's got pretty good guidance and
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson, you know.
I think we all know who the bottom teams are.
Oh,
We know
God.
who are the top teams, but there's also one team that comes to mind that I think is actually fun to watch.
Can I make a guess?
Yeah, go for
That's
it.
very loud.
No,
Aw.
it's the Guardians.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What kind of crack are you smoking?
Oh, same kind of something. Lots of they give me a lot of Michigan Panthers vibes. They never can put.
Really?
They can put some when they put stuff together. They're really good. The problem is they can only put something together for like 5 minutes and then it all falls apart. But they get better at doing stuff together over the course of the season. You can actually see the team improving and getting better as a unit. Even with Paxton Lynch, they were getting better. He was starting to piece better drives together. They just found a quarterback that could do that just faster.
Yeah, but if I wanted to see somebody constantly making the cycle of improvement and relapsing, I just talk to my Uncle Stu.
Oh,
Let's talk to good old Uncle Stewie. Good old Uncle Stew. Good old Stew Uncle.
does he have a football? Does he have a football sheep head?
He has been known to say what the deuce, I suppose.
What you're saying is he ate a football.
Hey, Arnold.
Yeah. Good old Arnold. Good old Arnie.
Move it, football head.
Yeah, before we drop kick ya. But anyways, I do find the Guardians quite fun to watch. Like they're a fun bad team to watch. Like and keep in mind, like I'm somebody that watched like when there were more Star Wars movies made than Cleveland Brown wins. Like that's during like a stretch like that.
Yeah.
So you notice when bad teams start to pull things together, they string along better drives together as a unit, and you can see them getting better and better week to week. And the Guardians, they've done that. Like the first shootout was against the two bottom feeders in the XFL. That was a great game. That was the greatest game. And honestly, like, in terms of quality, that was... like, chef's
And then you go
kiss.
go into the sunroom, and then Uncle Stu's passed out with his pants around his feet, and
Yep.
and you realize, oh god damn it, not again.
This is the point where we have done fucked up.
Yeah, and then we watched the Brahmas and the Renegades.
Ugh.
Oh. You know, if
The
the
most
Renegades
entertaining-
had a really good wasn't decimated by injuries, they would be so much better.
You know, the game. The best part of that game was the halftime show where I got to expose you to real American culture.
We might have to do like a day, like just a random day where we're just reacting to
Weird alternative sports.
weird
Yeah.
alternative
Stupid.
sport.
Yeah.
We literally just react to the stupid. That's what's gonna happen.
Yep, just react to just stupid shit that just happens. That's it. And yeah, we might do a couple of those for live streams because those like honestly like was it Barbie car
Barbie Jeep.
Barbie Jeep, what is it, derbies?
Yeah.
That's where a bunch of people just get fucking like piss drunk, and they just do whatever the hell I just saw.
They race a bunch of like toy like you know like those those like fake like little Jeeps that you get like your kid. They basically are grown men racing down a dirt hill in those.
While drunk.
That was already implied. I would already imply the term, yeah, they were really drunk. There's just nothing that will just defend them from it.
Like, no sober person's gonna do that with a straight face. Just putting it out there.
Yeah. No, but no one would do that. But it's just, you see the one like this. Ironically, I would feel like the sober ones, the ones that are actually making it to like the end of the course, could easily win it like every time, and it's hilarious to see it.
How badly they like
There's
bail.
some
Like,
people that just buy it though. So yeah, that was a good halftime show, and watching having those two games as the back-to-back watch along. XFL scheduling.
thankfully, we had the Whopper Bowl in there.
You gotta flex some stuff, especially when it's ABC, trying to get people to, watch the game.
We can't do all the heavy lifting for you, Disney.
So
Although, if you do give us a fat check, then
we'll
by all
gladly,
means.
we'll gladly only solely watch the XFL. Just purely watch the XFL. Nothing else. Just watch the XFL in its pure glory.
Send us your money, Disney.
Yep, send it. But not only that, we have the Vegas Vipers. We have retconned them. The nickname of the Mr. Beast franchise. They are Mr. Beasts. There's no denying that. The way that they just give wins to the other team. And they gave the ultimate gift to the Battlehawks. They didn't even show up. Like, at all. Like, at all. I was terrified that this game was going to be like the worst low-scoring abomination that we would ever see. But thank goodness, the Battlehawks had momentum. They
reminded us that caw is in fact the law.
Yeah, but there's more than that. Yeah. I know cacaw's the law. I won't say cacaw's the law. Not yet.
What are you, some kind of furry ooh-woo kind of... guy.
Even my cat's glaring at me going, dude, what the fuck?
Well, it's not the worst bit on the street.
Yeah, I can't do booger because the cat literally placed her little butt on my desk the second the stream started. Because she wants...
It knew.
She knew. I also mentioned the name Booger, and then I started to see the glare.
It knows.
Wow. Your cat's a genius.
She is a genius.
Yeah, that's smart IQ right there. Probably more IQ than you have.
Probably more IQ than Cherry Bradshaw.
Yeah, you're not wrong. She's a good cat. She's just getting old. Getting the wiser.
She could probably be smarter than the Raiders own than Mark Davis.
Yeah, do we need to cut wait, how does Gridiron Heights impersonate Mark Davis?
It's kind of like if you took... Well, it's kind of like if you took Seth Green and you made it a little higher. You know, like hit the Robot Chicken nerd. Like, just that kind of thing where it's like, oh, look, I'm the the owner of the Raiders. How about we send Khalil back for a couple of picks? You know, that sounds like a great idea.
In hindsight, it should have been a great fleecing. 2 first-round picks? Oh wait, those draft first-round picks in the years that the Raiders had are going to be notorious for the biggest bust ever. And it seems like the only team that's honestly winning is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had prime Khalil Mack for a good solid years. Able to sell him for a second. That second round pick, who'd you get it? What was the second round selection? Is he like a really good guard that was like really promising?
For which, us?
Yeah, for the Bears.
How recently, how recent, I know we're talking about the Khalil Mack trade, but how recently, are we talking about with this draft class?
Like, we're talking about the pick, because the Bears got the second round pick from San Diego, right? And the player that was picked with that second round pick is really promising, right?
Oh yeah, that.
You might have to...
Yeah, Brisker. Yeah, probably Brisker. I don't think it was an old lineman, though.
Yes, Jaquan Biscuit.
Let's whip up the old... let's whip
Yeah,
up
Jaquan Brisker. Yeah, Jaquan Brisker from... We used the Chargers pick.
What position does he play?
Safety.
How is he?
That kind of reminds me.
Yeah, I mean, he had a promising rookie season. Actually, a very, very promising one. So that was, yeah, very strong pick so far. I mean, our other second-round pick, let's see, what was it? Here it is. Yeah, our other second-round pick was Kyler Gordon, who, I mean, took longer for him to start developing than Brisker, but he's shown promise too, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh!
What the?
What the hell was that? Aiden?
That wasn't me.
It sounds like Atari noises. Like my old Atari is in a box.
Not me, is it?
Yeah, I was wondering what that noise was. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Oh, sorry, that might have been my cell phone. I had it on like YouTube Shorts, and then I was quickly gonna go look at the draft pick.
Oh, that's probably why.
Like ear rape or something.
I don't know what the hell that was.
It sounded like freaking static. But if that's like
quality, baby, quality
comedy. But yeah, that's the funny thing is the Chicago Bears are the one team that could make use, the only team that actually made genuine use of Khalil Mack, and even sending Khalil Mack away. That would probably be in history is my favorite NFL trade deadline period. Still really good. What else? We got the Sea Dragons. Oh shit. I forgot to I'm an idiot.
What did you do now?
I forgot to put the controller in the middle.
You moron!
Bruh.
Hey, but you scored, Spencer!
Sausage! 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 Oh,
Good job.
10th goal
oh
of the
fuck,
year.
you're something's farting, dude!
10th goal of the year. Aiden has scored 40. Holy fuck.
What the fuck is happening?
42 goals?
Dude, something is like...
Holy shit.
Hang on, I need to, like, fucking...
What? What's happening?
I don't think it's mine. Because I don't think it's mine.
Is it my Riki chair?
No, it's like... Weird, like, corrupted, like, audio weird noises.
From me?
Someone, I don't know who.
I mean, I don't think it's mine.
I don't hear anybody's corrupted audio
Fucking
noise.
fly around here too. What the fuck?
Is it me?
No, I'm trying to fucking kill a fly right now.
Oh, yeah. Don't let it fly away, lol.
Anyway, keep talking about the Sea Dragons.
Oh, the
we
Sea
can find the culprit.
Dragons. Holy crap. They... If they win the turnover battle, they're probably the best team in the XFL. But the thing is, they're a really good record with a horrible turnover differential. Horrible turnover differential. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like NFL levels of just bad.
Are we sure? Maybe we should like do like a Scooby-Doo kind of thing. See if it's actually Jameis Winston.
Yeah. It could be Jameis Winston. But you also look at the NFL vets. Josh Gordon had his best game when he was playing against Mr. Beast. Everything else, he's been kind of locked down all year.
Well, you know, skill issue.
Yeah, exactly. Huge skill issue. Oh, and also the cat update. She's fascinated by NHL right now.
Based.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like it's like a sophisticated version of a laser pointer.
Very sophisticated.
She's not
as interested in like the fishes, like the birds and the squirrels. She really likes the birds and the squirrels. But this is, it's about holding her attention as much as she's like you know those like little fish games that cats can play on like a tablet, as they like bat around.
Oh, not just cats who like that. I'm pretty sure it's also
Toddlers.
No, like those people who make like those Family Guy clips.
Oh yeah. Something for you and your cat to enjoy.
Da 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 da.
Those are the worst. But yeah, you know, if the Seattle Sea Dragons were to play a super clean game, they would be a very good football team.
Unfortunately, your Nucci is too bendy.
Yeah. It doesn't help that Danucci is throwing too many interceptions, and our other guys are, well,
Fumbling.
they're not really attractive either.
Hey.
But there's a really good bright spot, Jakir Pearson. I hope he gets a shot again in the NFL. If there's any player that is probably going to make it to the NFL, it's Jakir Pearson. And actually, like, stay on a roster. He has been really good this year. Really good. Leads the XFL in receptions, touchdowns. Dude's pretty good.
There it was again, but just quieter this time.
Yeah, I don't think it's mine because mine wasn't going off when I hear the noise. That's the thing.
That's definitely Luke's.
I think it's because my mic is close to my PC.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me move it.
Yeah, otherwise we're gonna hear you speaking Linux, and nobody wants that.
Alright, I'm gonna move it closer to my PC. It's capturing the audio, right?
Alright.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Okay, yeah. It's capturing the audio. Okay, so I'll just put it like right to me. I'll hold it. I will hold it. Or I might just have to change the settings of my mic. Hold up. There we go. I have to turn on noise suppression. I don't have noise suppression turned on. But
You might.
I might have to turn on noise suppression. Okay, so as I was saying, Sea Dragons, Jakir Pearson. There's one player I really hope that actually sticks in the NFL, it's probably him. Somebody that's a really good role player that can, go deep. Huge deep ball threat. Probably one of the better players that is in the XFL right now. And we'll see what happens. I hope he gets a real shot. There's not a whole lot of players outside of that have really stood out.
For me, a standout for me has been Mateo Durant. He's been pretty good as a running back.
Yeah, there's good running backs. There's been good running backs, but it's... the weird thing is like, even in the USFL, there was 5 players that I said, boom, easy NFL. But this league, I just haven't, there's just one. There's just one guy. And that's it. The thing I'm really disappointed, Luis Perez, he's been pretty bad. Jordan Teamu, he's been okay. Hasn't been spectacular.
You know what will make it to the NFL, if they're cool? The beer snake.
I don't know about the beer snake, boys.
It deserves to make it. That's the highlight for me. The beer snake. That deserves to make it, though.
It does, but I don't know if the NFL wants to,
Well, if they don't, then it's lemons for them.
Yeah, good lord. People will lose their shit if it's lemons. People lose their shit if it's lemons. And then there's...
It's like how those Roman Caesars used to give a thumbs up whoa! It's like if Roman Caesars used to give thumbs up or thumbs down on whether a guy should be killed. It's like that, except beer snake for good, lemons for bad.
Beer snakes are good. They are good. They are good.
Be a beer snake, don't be a lemons.
I mean, I want the beer snake to return, but I don't know, because the one problem is that the NFL does not want to have their games interrupted whatsoever.
Because the NFL owners, in my humble opinion, and the right word to describe this, are cowards with this. They are cowards. We want our beer snakes out there.
Yeah.
See, I would have used a less PC word.
Same.
Cats. They're cats.
Yeah, we know.
They're a bunch of scaredy kitty cats. But I can see why the NFL just won't do it. There's a reason, and I really feel that beer snake is cool for 2 seconds, and then people are throwing lemons onto the field, interrupting games. Do we want to bring back flashbacks of some infamous events that happened in the 90s? Can you imagine if the Philadelphia Eagles were to have a beer snake?
Hey, how about Bottlegate?
Bottlegate, yeah. That too, right?
Or Bottlegate 2, the forgotten sequel to Bottlegate that happened in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, so I am really concerned that if you do bring back the beer snake, the problem with the beer snake is I really feel that you're encouraging
fun. You're encouraging fun.
It's going to be a bad precedent for just some franchises' fan bases, because they're just drunken buffoons that would just take it apart. Again, One of the things, do we remember that what Yinzers did when there was a
Eagles.
Seahawks player down on the field? They were doing the wave!
Oh
Jesus.
yeah, I remember that.
Right? Like, you think, if it's like a small crowd of like 1,000 fans and you have them gathered in the end zone and you're doing the beer snake and they're respectful of it, then it's fine, right? Tradition will stay the same. It will always stay the same. They're going to highlight the hell out of the beer snake. But if you have some responsible fan bases, like Eagles fans, do you really want like that? Like, especially also if you're a fan that's, you know, underneath the beer snake and there's beer dripping on you. That's not a rather good experience.
I mean, have you seen what? I mean, we're talking about Eagles fans, but let's not forget about a certain tradition that Bills fans have.
Smashing tables and throwing dildos onto fields.
Or a certain tradition that the Detroit Red Wings really like to hype up, involving a certain cephalopod.
The octopus.
Let's throw a catfish onto the field like the Predators do.
Yeah, like there's traditions that everybody does, and I really feel like the beer snake is just a really great XFL staple.
It is a based thing, but yeah, it does feel very XFL-y.
It is. It's gonna stay in the XFL. I think the NFL, if it were to happen in the NFL, it would get squashed down immediately. Like you would not be able to form a beer snake in the NFL. I mean, I don't have a problem with against like you're having fun and whatnot, but it's just it really feels that it's not a good experience for everybody in attendance. And when the NFL wants to have a product, they want bums and seats because guess how much those NFL tickets are? They cost your soul.
Okay, fair point, but you need to take like a few steps away from your microphone.
I probably can. The cat moved off the desk. The cat moved off my desk, so.
Sorry, you were just blowing out my.
I should never be turned down. I should never be turned up. Only down. That is a mistake.
My brother in Christ, I had you at 88% and you were still blowing me out.
Yeah, I'm allowed. I'm a loud person and everybody forgets that. But I'm just a loud person. Anyways, yeah, that's the beast. Anyways, the DC Defenders, though, they are 5-0. They're a great football team. Well-rounded. They utilize a really good 2-quarterback system, and they deploy it very, very well with Teamu and De'Aaron King. And sometimes they let De'Aaron King throw the ball.
You know what it reminds me of? The 2012 49ers. I'm sure Aiden will agree with me on that, you know. How, you had Alex Smith in passing situations, and you had Kaepernick in running situations.
Well, technically, we often use Cap in running situations. That is until Alex Smith got injured.
They do. I like how they deploy it. They deploy it really well. My favorite thing is they have De'Aaron King throw on sometimes on situational downs, and that's a really good opportunity for a guy to get reps, right? It's very, very limited reps, but reps that can potentially help you grow as a potential prospect into a quarterback that can make it into the NFL. So it's especially some of these guys will get a second. XFL is going for season 2. So
if we're talking about DC, I just want to say this. I think a lot of credit also has to be given to Abram Smith, who's been the XFL's best running back so far. I mean, he's been having an amazing season up to this point. So yeah, that's another guy who deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah,
especially when you have a really good running game. That you don't know how much a good running game helps your passing attack.
Oh yeah,
you see a lot of teams that just, even in the NFL, right? if you don't have a good running game, you can't set up for a good passing attack, right? As much as the running backs have like a shelf life of like spinach, it's still a critical component.
Yeah, that was low key one of the issues with the Vikings offense last year, is that Dalvin Cook just fell off a cliff.
Well, the guy's had an ACL injury in his pro career, and those are hard to recover from. Some guys are never the same, and Dalvin Cook was also injured multiple times.
Yeah, he was very much like he was somehow more injured than Carson Wentz, if you can believe that.
Yeah. I believe it. He misses. He was out.
Seriously, look it up.
He's had many injuries, and injuries derailed careers. Many injuries. That's usually what happens to running backs. They have a significant injury and they lose a lot of their abilities because of it.
Here we go. I finally found it. Abram Smith's stats this season: 432 rushing yards, 5 yards per carry, 34 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. And this is through 5 games. That's very impressive.
My favorite stat: 5 yards per carry. That is a good statistic to have.
Yeah, especially if teams are in the NFL are looking for a running back. Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, most of these guys are going to be role players. Like even Kayvon Turpin, the USFL MVP, he really was just used for special teams, and you really hope that down the line the guy can develop into a really good route runner and be a good top 3 in the wide receiving category. I think you would want more than just to be a role player. You want to make the NFL and then just stick around too. That's just me. You want to actually have some of these guys want to have an impact. They don't just want to make it. They want to have a
short-handed goal.
Yeah. It's your 45th, 43rd goal this year.
Alright, so we've talked about the Vipers, we talked about the Guardians, we've talked about the Sea Dragons, and we've talked about the Defenders.
We got the Brahmas, and then we have the Renegades.
Oh boy, let me just say the same thing for both of them. Really uninspired football from a state that supposedly, this so-called football mecca, just really boring, and somehow one of these teams is going to make it over St. Louis or Seattle. And that's a shame.
My thoughts on these teams are quite simple. They are boring. That's all that needs to be said. They're a football team. These are football teams that truly do exist.
I thought you were going to start. I thought you were making gonna start making snoring noises.
But the Brahmas have Kirk Benkirk! The Brahmas have Kirk Benkirk!
They do have Kirk Benkirk. That is true.
Being a simp, Luke!
That is true. That's true. They do have Kurt. That is very true. But at the same time, it's like outside of that, it's like these are still football teams that exist, in my opinion. They are football teams by name, and they exist to play the game. That's literally what they are.
The thing that makes me sad the most is that both the Renegades, both Renegade QBs, you cycle through both of them, it's the same guy. It's the same guy.
It's like watching a hamster running his wheel.
Yeah. It's sad that how much it's the same guy. I see no differences. I see no similarities. They're the same person. The same person, and it is just frustrating to watch on a nightly basis. Drew Plitt looks kind of good now because he managed to throw the ball over 10 fucking yards more than once. Slaughter never did that, or Bob Stupid's offense just doesn't have that.
What the hell is happening in Arlington.
That's what I want to know, right? Like, sure,
By the
their
way-
run game is utterly atrocious, but like the fact that it's such a struggle to throw over 10 yards.
By the way, fucking Arlington? You're calling yourselves fucking Arlington?
Just call yourselves Dallas.
You
Have
have
in your
to let
logo.
it
Why
be
not call
in your
yourself
name,
Dallas?
in your logo. Hello.
I know.
It's funny because it's like, we laugh at teams. Here's the thing: we laugh at teams that are technically not in their, that technically don't play in the exact city but play close to that. So it's really funny for us to just laugh at a team that actually names themselves the correct city they play in. But it's like you're like 3 minutes away from Dallas. Like at this rate, you could just call yourselves Dallas over Arlington. It's like I don't care that. I mean, yeah, you're in Arlington. You're in the fucking metro area regardless. You're 2 minutes away from Dallas. You'll be fine calling yourself something you're not actually a part of, technically.
Yeah, it's sort of like how you call yourself a football team.
The damn shame is that one of the Arlington or the Brahmas is going to be making the playoffs.
And
That's the real crime here.
Like, the fact that the Sea Dragons, the Battlehawks, and the DC Defenders, one of those teams will be missing the playoffs despite all three of those teams being better than every team but the Houston Roughnecks. That says something.
Wayne Johnson do something about this.
They probably will look to address it because, just like the USFL, they did give the first overall pick the winner of the two losing teams that week. They did do that for Michigan and Pittsburgh. They said the winner gets the first overall pick, which didn't matter, but after watching, you're like, well, this is ideas, but like they weren't good ideas.
Oh, just like me.
But, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, the CFL has it done where the top teams make the playoffs, and if there's one team that if the team has like a better record than the other teams in that division, they also get in. But also 6 teams do make the playoffs, though. They do have wild card spots.
Something we forgot to mention about the Vegas Vipers, their stadium, bad.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
just it's so obvious. Let's be real. It's so obvious. We are literally beating a dead horse with Cashman Field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I just wanted to mention it anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's fine.
know,
It's just like
fine.
here. Literally, it's like mentioning Cashman Field. Like, hey. By the way, here's our dead horse.
And we're just gonna beat it over and over and over again.
Fuck it, it's fun and fleshy to do.
It is.
Yeah. Cashman Field makes Oakland Coliseum look like Oracle Park. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and say it.
I mean, I think I'd rather play in Oakland Coliseum now.
I mean, Cashman Field is literally miniature Oakland Coliseum, to be honest.
Yeah. At least with Oakland Coliseum, I have like stadiums that are the shithole stadium is like gonna fucking break on me.
I mean, at least the scaffolding doesn't look like it's gonna fall over.
Yeah. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. But, oh yeah, we also have the Roughnecks. Roughnecks are a good team. They lost to Seattle LMAO. They need a good quarterback. Brandon Silver says, ain't it, Chief?
Oh man.
He'll school the rest of his division, but I think they're going to struggle when they play the Battlehawks.
A real team.
When they play the Battlehawks, and I think they're going to struggle tomorrow as well.
Yeah, they're a QB away from being truly dominant.
Yeah, and that's just purely to coaching.
Now, where have I heard that one before?
Yeah. Is it could you really argue that there are 3 teams, that the top 3 teams in the North Division are all better than any team that's in the South right now?
Yeah, which is funny because we said the exact opposite.
I know! I just thought, well, look, you got all these coaches. There's some notable guys. We knew Orlando was going to be bad, and they've actually turned out to be, like, bad, but, like, fun bad.
You know, like a clown with herpes.
No, a clown that's just finished rehab. You're cheering for him and hoping that he doesn't fall back into his demons.
Oh, Uncle Stu, will you ever truly come clean?
Yeah, very true. Very true. But that's the XFL for week 6. We have 4 more weeks left, and then it's the playoffs, but also we're 2 weeks away from the USFL. And I mentioned this earlier, I don't know if Nick was around, but we're probably going to be doing some double box games.
Oh?
We're definitely going to be doing XFL and USFL watch-alongs because of, look, the schedule. And on Sunday, there are 2 games that are running at the same fucking time. So...
we do this for you, viewer. We love you.
yeah, we're going to have double the watch-alongs. So it's going to be very, very fun. We're going to have 2 fucking scoreboards. 2 games to keep track of, which I think is going to help. And we're going to see... I'm really excited for the USFL. Because maybe since I thought the USFL was going to be rough, it might actually be good.
You know, I'm excited to see... I'm excited to see minor league football in Michigan and be like, maybe they'll come to my hometown.
Who knows?
In the exact goblin voice, too.
Goblin mode. Good old freaking goblin does the whole goblin mode. So, get does the whole goblin mode and shit.
Oh, speaking of, we have a few things, we have to take care of some certain students. Well, the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and New England Patriots, please come to the principal's office. Again, that's the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and New England Patriots. Thank you.
All right, we want to talk to a Mr. Tennessee Titan.
Oh boy!
Come
you
in.
again?
The principals will be here to see you. We'll want to see you right away. I mean,
1 yard short again, huh?
it's not even the fact that it's 1 yard short. The fact that they've had so many years that they were successful. An AFC Conference Championship. Winning the AFC the year prior.
They didn't win the AFC.
I mean, the year after. To now.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Regular season champions.
I mean, the Titans are weird, you know?
I think it's over for them.
Well, we know that. It's over, 100%.
Yeah, it's over.
They're the team I have that's going to be gunning for Caleb Williams next year. I mean, I don't think Derrick Henry's going to be the same. He's probably, maybe, if you're lucky, has 1 more year left, and it's going to be your tank year, too.
It's going to be like Emmitt Smith on the Cardinals level painful.
Yeah, except you're not going to find a suitor for him because big cap hit, and he wasn't effective this year. He was stuffed a whole lot, and that just is what happens to running backs. They have a short shelf life. You gotta count. Their primes are very limited, and quite frankly, they're quite the luxury item. They're necessary, but if you have an elite one, it's luxury.
Did you just say frequently?
Frequently, I might have said frequently on accident.
You it's like you were trying to say frankly, and then you also were trying to say frequently, and then frequently just kind of spilled out of your mouth.
Oh. Well, you know, I don't English good, so.
My brother in Christ, you are from an English-speaking country.
Does that mean I'm good at English?
I mean, as far as I know, you are not from French you're not from Quebec, so that means you're most likely an
Yeah.
native English speaker.
Yeah.
Literally. You're not French, motherfucker.
But nor am I smart. But they're shopping around guys. They're safe. They're starting safety. They're having contract disputes with him as well. He says he's
Kevin
playing.
Byard.
Kevin Byard. They want him to take a pay cut. He's like, no, I've actually lived up to my pedigree as a player. He's right. I think players, they don't have to take a salary cut.
Especially if you don't love the team very much. I'm sorry.
I mean, you traded. I think the trade that's going to just set them back is trading away. Trading away AJ Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles. The receiver that they got has been frequently hurt this year. So another just not a great look for the Titans.
Yeah,
And they're going to have to blow it up. They're going to be unfortunately dragged kicking and screaming into a rebuild. Meanwhile, their division... They have a new GM too, which, might just say, hey, look, let's just kick the can down the road. We have Ryan Tannehill, so we're going to just, we got to tank for a year and then decide what we want to do and then go from there.
Good old Rand Carthon, which sounds like a fake character from Star Wars.
Wasn't he from the
San Francisco
Niners?
Yeah, San Francisco. Yeah,
he's
from
the
there.
Niners, so
You're welcome, Titans. You're welcome.
For the Titans, I guess if there's anything to say, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of been building up for a bit with this team because it's like, they're kind of like at least 2019 they made the AFC Championship game. I mean, they lost to KC, but still it was a great season for them. 2020 looked very promising with a lot of strong moments for them, but ended up going one and done to Baltimore. 2021 had a great season, bore the number one seed in the AFC, and then Joe Burrow happened. So and you sacked them like if I remember correctly, 9 times, and you still couldn't beat them.
Still
like
lost.
that was kind of a turning point
A
for the
brawl moment,
Titans,
if you will.
because you had gone one and done back-to-back years. So this past season was basically viewed upon as, really a possibly make or break year for the Titans, and it's really been it was a year that ended up breaking them, considering they didn't make the playoffs and ended up getting beat out by a team who the previous season had employed Urban Meyer as their head coach.
You also want to add the fact
a wise
that
man once said, "You
Oh,
snooze, you
Spanish.
lose, and you snossed, and then you lost."
I think that one of the big things to also really note about, just look at your surrounding division. The Colts, they're going to be rebuilding. The Jaguars are about to, be one of the 5-headed behemoths into the AFC. Good Lord, the AFC games are going to be fun to watch. They're going to be fun to watch. But you have Jacksonville that is probably with Trevor Lawrence. As long as Trevor Lawrence just keeps developing, he hasn't hit his ceiling quite yet. I hope his ceiling wasn't last year, because you envision that he's better than that. But and you have Houston, who has a bevy of first-round picks. They're going to get their franchise quarterback next draft, and I'm hearing that it's going to be the one, Bryce Young, which is the guy you actually want.
Not you, cousin Bryce. They're talking about someone else.
They want Bryce Young. You would want Bryce. I prefer Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud, and it sounds like you can't go wrong with any quarterbacks that you have. With any of these quarterbacks you're gonna get, just be glad that you're not picking third or fourth, or at least fourth, because that would just be the worst position to pick. They're gonna get their quarterback. They got another round. They got another pick. They had the rookie running back that really emerged last year. That's gonna help a lot. They just need to get if they can find a star wide receiver, build out the trenches for the next 2 years. They could be a really good team. They're gonna be a great team that shows that if you sell something and fleece a team for it, you're gonna be better off for it.
As for the Titans,
It doesn't look so good. I mean, even for the Colts, I'm not really high on the Colts either because all you need is a team to trade up to 3, and then you've lost out on the quarterback this year. But not really the end of the world because. I'll let you finish, Nick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the Titans right now, they are stuck in no man's land. Like right now, that's basically where they're stuck at. They're stuck in football hell in terms of just being so mediocre that you can't tank, but you're also not gonna be a playoff team.
Yeah.
You are the 2014 St. Louis Rams.
Here's the thing. It might be. What they might have to do is you might have to cut Tannehill and let Malik, if you were going to fully commit to a tank, you would cut Tannehill and let Malik Willis play the full year, lose every game, and get Caleb Williams.
Hashtag let Malik Willis.
Yep.
The good old
That
Browns.
doesn't make any sense.
Good old Browns tactic.
Yep.
Take the tactic. I will say, though, it's just the main thing will be if the Titans are truly dedicated to wanting to rebuild, I think there's going to be one guy that will show, okay, are we going all in with this rebuild or not? And that's honestly, will the Titans trade Derrick Henry? Because I think it's time.
They're going to, but they're not gonna get a first round pick. They're gonna get a day 3 pick, and they might just have to cut their losses and cut him at training camp.
I mean, considering what Christian McCaffrey got with his injury history, I don't know.
But the Niners now have a system where CMC doesn't have to do everything. Whereas Derek,
I know, I understand that, but still, it's like I understand that. It's just the fact of the matter is, I still feel I'm not saying they're gonna get a first. I'm saying they can still get something good. They're still gonna get something good.
I think they are, but I think their asking price might be too high, and then the draft is passed by, and you still have Derrick Henry. I mean, there are teams interested, but the big thing is, and it's why a trade like a player, for example, like DeAndre Hopkins has stalled out, is because teams are viewing it as a salary dump, and they're not going to take a salary dump. Why should they take the guy's entire salary? I mean, unless you're smart, you would have to retain half your salary to have max value. And if you're not going to be competing for a playoff spot, take it.
Anyway, you have some very hard questions to ask yourself this summer. Tennessee, probably going to see you in the office again, at least for a while. Just make sure you do the right thing, okay?
At least let us know that you're going in the right direction.
All right. Now, here's something I've been waiting to say ever since we've started this segment. You rapist! Yes, we are talking about the Cleveland Browns.
I remember when I liked Cleveland a lot. I loved him as the lovable losers. I like from the days of Baker Mayfield to Baker Mayfield's last year. The Cleveland Browns were a fun, bad team. They were the fun, bad team that I would tune in to watch every year. They were adorable. They were a team that at one point you wanted them to win.
They were a ragtag bunch of nobodies, and they were awesome for it.
Yeah.
And remember when they made Juju Smith-Schuster eat his words with that nameless great faces shit? Yeah. That was awesome.
It was.
Yeah, those were good times, wasn't it? They were good times.
There were some great times. The fact that you've gone from lovable losers to, oh God, you're endorsing a
rape enabler,
a sexual predator.
That's why I had the intro I did for you people.
I don't.
Yeah.
That I just don't like that. I don't like that Watson's in the NFL that was able to play this season. He showed some flashes of his old form, but you really just look at through the looking glass. If Deshaun Watson, like, he has to get them to the playoffs. He has to. Right? He has to show some semblance of his elite form, because otherwise, that is without a doubt the worst trade you could have ever done. And I don't think any NFL player, like, especially if there's any NFL player that's looking at this, i.e. Lamar Jackson, thinking that you're just going to take a full year off and be just fine, it doesn't all work out like that. If you don't do something for a year, it's really hard to regain your even just an elite form. Like, Carson Palmer had to do it, but he was never elite. He was just an average quarterback that didn't have to take a huge jump. But still, he only made it as far in Arizona as a conference championship under Bruce Arians, who was a good head coach. Kevin Stefanski is on the hot seat now, because now he has to try to find a way to have Deshaun Watson to reach his elite form, because they gave up a king's ransom to get Deshaun Watson.
Also, we're not the worst trade anymore! Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Celebrate good times!
Spencer,
dude.
Wait! Wait! You have to still wait a couple of years. You still have to wait a couple of years. Because what if next year the Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl? Then they've won the trade. You have to give it 2 years. Give it 2 years. Hold on, you have to give it 2 more years.
Yeah, but he's still
What if the Texans draft a bunch of busts in their picks, though?
Yeah, that's true. The Texans also have to make use of it. Right now, the worst trade is the Wilson trade for the Broncos.
Yeah, that's the one
that's currently number one, because Seattle had the best draft class last year. To where they went from rebuilding to loading up the trenches and getting ready for the next young quarterback to come in their roster. It is literally a perfect storm.
That's the thing I'll say about the Browns. Like, I'll just put it bluntly, like, this is a team that basically every year, for as long as they have Mr. Cosby as their quarterback, they are going to be a playoff or bust team. Like, that's just the reality. It's like, you're the Browns. You've gotten the moniker for being one of, if arguably, the fattest professional sports team in American sports. You made this move because it's like, okay, we made 1 year of the playoffs. 1 year is not going to be enough. We want to make the playoffs every fucking year from the time being. So it's like, yeah, this is, the bad optics are still there, and obviously it's like, trading for Watson puts a massive freaking target on your back. Especially considering how he looked to end the season last year. It was definitely not great for the Browns, at least. I know he was off for an entire season for multiple circumstances, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you really better go all in with this training camp and like the off season stuff, because it's like, if not, like, if Watson's still playing like shit next season, you're in serious trouble.
Mm-hmm. You sick fuck! You sick fuck! You sick fuck!
I'm also disappointed that we didn't hear that over the broadcast, and the sadder thing, right, is we also didn't hear that. We didn't even hear that, even, like, not even fans posting videos on Twitter. That's what I'm mostly disappointed in, because the first preseason game, you could hear it through the game audio, and there were fans posting about it. His first start, nothing.
That's because he was in Houston, which was like, I'm just
Well,
gonna
even
say
then,
it.
he was also in Pittsburgh.
Well, they had Big Ben, so
Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Jacksonville fans are built different. That's the conclusion I
Yeah.
get.
yeah, they're built for. Oh wait, no, that's Detroit fans. They're built
I'm
for.
happy that Jacksonville made the playoffs this year. Very happy.
Well, I'm just gonna say Jacksonville is the definition of Florida, man.
Yeah. They called out a sexual predator during a preseason game when no one else would do it in the regular season.
For
Good
that,
job.
you're truly our Batman.
They are truly our knight in shining armor.
I guess if there is a positive for the Browns, it's that you did get Elijah Moore, so that is at least something good for them. Whether they use him properly remains to be seen. But yeah, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be some big questions for the Browns. Because honestly, they got the receiving staff, in my opinion, to make at least to make a good offense. They got the receiving staff. They got the running back in Nick Chubb, and I mean, I don't know if Hunt's gonna be back or not, but I mean,
Doesn't
if
sound
he
like
is,
it.
well, it doesn't sound like it. But I mean, they'll probably draft someone. They'll probably just draft someone to
Again,
replace him. So
their
they'll be
first
fine there.
fourth round pick is going to be given to a running back.
Yeah,
That
so it's like, I
feels
mean,
good.
it's like, yeah, there are no excuses, in my opinion, for Deshaun Watson to be struggling next season.
Yeah, it's only just
Except, of
gonna.
course, he's
You're just gonna have the
fucking
fires
washed-ass
just
rapist who
burning.
doesn't deserve anything nice.
Even then, you're gonna have another modern day. The fact that we also could potentially have two trades where teams gave up a lot of stuff for a quarterback, and in return, the teams that traded these quarterbacks away ended up winning the most, which just astonishes me. They also have a new defensive coordinator. They have a really good defense too, so that's gonna help them a lot more.
Yeah, no excuses.
They gotta get it done. They gotta get it done. Cleveland Browns have to get it done this year.
Whether you like it or not.
Yep. So hopefully we don't see you in my office again. And
honestly, if I had the power to, I'd expel their asses.
Yeah. But however, the provincial office won't allow us to do that. Something that's in some wording of the contract that won't allow it. But just keep it in your pants and get out of here.
Yeah, you pervert. You.
Last thing to note for the Cleveland Browns is they have a brutal uphill battle. It's a very brutal. The AFC is the tough. It's only going to get tougher. Aaron Rodgers is going to enter, which on paper it's gonna be. You hope it's good, but you have to. If Rodgers a hit. Oh my God, Kansas City, the
Buffalo Bills, maybe.
Bengals, Jaguars, and you're going to have the Jets to do that. If Lamar stays, you're going to have 6. If Kenny Pickett takes a huge step next year, 7. It's going to be tough. The AFC is only getting tougher. Oh, you have the Chargers too.
Well, I just want to say, one last thing with the Browns is also the fact that, I mean, we talked about the trade and everything, but yeah, good luck not having a pick until the 3rd round.
Ooh. That's not the end of the world, though. If you don't have a 3rd round pick, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's still the fact, I mean, it's still the fact that, like, yeah, I've seen certain front offices where they've had to wait until the 3rd round to end up drafting, and it's ended up backfiring for those draft classes. Oh, yeah. And I say that because I saw it with the Bears in 2019.
We saw that with the Texans in 2020,
because Bill O'Brien is a hack.
They had to take a quarterback that they honestly didn't need to. It was pray to God that this kid can hit his ceiling when. Guys in the 3rd round, they need time to marinate before you just chuck them into the wolves. And he was chucked into the wolves right away without any support. So we also saw that with. Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard go to see because It's like you have to take a guy that has to hit a missing need that you need when third rounders. They're gonna need a year or two of proper development, and then they can come into their own. There's some great third round. Oh yes, I'll let you finish.
I mean, obviously, you can find diamonds in the third round. That's not impossible. It's actually pretty. It is very very possible that happens. It's just that you're going to need time with it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Anyway, next. Oh, hey, look, it's the New York Jets.
Oh God, you guys
what?
got into psychedelics. I see. Oh no! Oh good lord! You got yourselves into psychedelics. Oh good lord! With your new trying to track your new QB, and I saw a list of your teacher demands. You're not getting any of these teachers. Mr. Johnson's a PE teacher. He ain't teaching you mathematics.
It's Stromboli and the New York Jets.
Oh my lord. By the way, can I just say the Jets? You're gonna butt fumble Aaron Rodgers. Deep down inside, I hope that Jets fans are dreading what you're gonna have to give up for Rodgers. Because I feel like the Packers are asking too much, and you're not willing to give up. I still think they're still working on trade capital. I think it might come out to 2 second-round picks for the Jets.
Probably.
I'm guessing it's coming to 2 second rounds, but the Jets are probably like, we want a second and like maybe a conditional fourth. They're probably stuck on like, and again, the Packers could easily say, no, we want a first-round pick. And they're just
because I've seen a lot of Packers fans that are definitely very interested in what they're going to be gaining in return, because this is going to be a new era for them, and it's like, I will be interested in seeing if they don't get a strong return. I will say it will be very interesting to see the reactions on both sides.
Especially if they only have to give up a third-round pick. I will be...
Oh, God.
Can you imagine if all they had to do was give up a third-round pick for...
Aaron Rodgers.
You just had... That's the price that you had to do? Oh, take that and run. But the Packers are not going to get fleeced like that. I think the Packers are asking for a first. And the Jets don't want to give up a first.
Here's my prediction. The Rodgers pick is gonna fall through, and they're gonna have to roll with Joe Flacco next year.
Oh God!
No, they would rather would just go with Zach Wilson.
No,
because if you don't have Aaron Rodgers on your team during to start the. Words are coming into my brain. 1 second. If they don't have Aaron Rodgers the deal figured out by OTAs, and OTAs are critical. They're critical. You want your quarterback to be there for OTAs. It's when you're coming up with new plays. You're trying to gestate especially for a new player. You're trying to build that chemistry with your team. It's critical to have that chemistry, especially new guys. Guys like Garrett Wilson is going to have to build chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of new receivers on this team that are going to have to learn to play with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is very high maintenance. Very high maintenance.
Counterpoint, it's the Jets. The Jets are stupid. And until I see otherwise, I will presume that they always do the wrong thing.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong.
This is
always a team that do the wrong thing.
This is a team that has the longest active playoff drought, going playoff berth drought.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry. I'm back. I'll have to get in the call. Hold up. The cat hit the power button. Sorry, everybody. The cat hit the power button. You have to start over with what you said about the Jets.
Ah, crap. Well,
The cat hit the. It was the cat. She hit the.
Oh yeah, it was the cat. All right.
No, she jumped up on my desk, and the way she does it is she jumps on my tower, my PC, and she hits the power button.
Did we-
The cat.
Did we shut the stream?
No, the stream's back up.
Stream's
Stream's back up. Stream back on. It's back up. It's back up.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, honestly, it's like I'm not worried about talent-wise, because honestly, here's the thing. If the Jets, I've said it many times already, but the Jets won 7 games last year with freaking the quarterbacks being Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Mike White, okay? And respect to Mike White, I just want to make that very clear, but Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron is not what he, likely not going to ever be what he was, he's still a big improvement over that, no fucking question. I don't think anyone is going to disagree with that. Yeah. My only worry for the Jets is more Aaron Rodgers being the cult of personality that he truly is. I don't think, and I feel, I mean, we saw it last season. I mean, there's been moments, particularly the fall, like 2021. There was moments of this, but like at least then they were like, you know, Packers were still winning until they choked in the playoffs. 2022 though, last year with the Packers missing the playoffs, it's like you could see a lot of that cult of personality that Rodgers has really exposing itself. And it's like, especially alright, just trying to think of more words to put here, but like I'm not worried for the Jets as like from a talent perspective, because they'll be fine. They got the receiving core. I mean, for God's sake, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Corey Davis. I mean, I'm probably forgetting others. I mean, OBJ might be there. I don't know what's gonna happen with OBJ.
Do you think they part ways with Corey Davis? I think what an interesting trade would be is I think the Jets would give up 2 second-round picks and Corey Davis, because they don't need Corey Davis when you're going to get OBJ, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb. It's going to be a very crowded receiving core.
Oh, bye, Aiden. Oh, welcome back, Aiden.
So you might as well offload a contract that I think the Packers could use.
I'll be real though. If they were gonna do that, then I'm surprised it was not Elijah Moore. Then that's my thoughts, because I thought the Packers would want a young wide receiver, but I'm guessing the Browns beat them to it.
Yeah. That could be also the holdup where it could have just been a 1-for-1 or like a second in Elijah Moore, and they're like, they would be like, yeah, we're pretty comfortable with that, and then you would go from there.
I mean, yeah, and I'll say that's the Jets defense. I mean, Sauce Gardner, obviously, they're probably, I mean, defense, as we saw last season, ridiculously talented. It's more, the only thing that concerns me of an Aaron Rodgers Jets scenario, as I noted, was really, is he going to be a cult of personality? Is he going to be a head case?
Is he going to be the kind of guy who tells you 1 and 1 make 3?
Yeah, is he going to be the guy who brings the locker room down? Which, I mean, granted, considering how Zach Wilson did last season, I don't think there's a lower bar you can really do with that.
Yeah,
but keep in mind, I've had low expectations somehow get even lower than that.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's also worth noting that this, along with the fact that Rodgers would be going here to be their starter, it's also, he's going to be there for another reason. That's to be Zach Wilson's mentor, and it's going to be very interesting to see how will that bonding go. Honestly, I mean, I know Wilson likes Rodgers. He said it many times before, but it's going to be very interesting seeing those personalities collide.
Yeah.
They're going to have to. I mean, the hope is that if you can at least retool your one sec. I'm trying to think of if you're trying to retool Zach Wilson, you would bring Aaron Rodgers to completely retool his repertoire. And the thing is, you're probably going to only need 1 year of Rodgers. If you go any longer, then you're going to have to, if Zach Wilson wants to start somewhere else, you're going to have to risk losing him in free agency, and then you're going to have to play the cap situation. So you're going to have to realize that you're probably only going to pay him for about, hopefully he's there for a year, not longer.
Yeah,
and,
well, I can't...
It's going to be a whole...
and hope that... Yeah. It's a big unknown. It could easily go well, but it also could really not be that good.
Yeah, well, it's just gonna be. I mean, obviously, we still gotta wait for the trade to actually be official, but it's just gonna be a waiting game with that. And I guess if there's a last comment for this, I guess the perfect way to end this is, can't wait for future Minnesota Viking Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Which means that Jordan Love is going to be a stud. And everybody in the NFC North groans. All right. Lastly, the New England Patriots. I'm gonna. Here's something that's actually quite interesting. I've been looking at a lot of. People know I do like Colin Cowherd. I do respect his opinion because he's very real when it comes to talking about certain things. And I think for the NFL, he's probably the one that's the most sane with his takes. He puts a lot of thought into them.
And
I heard Spencer groan.
Yeah.
Hey, he's real. He's completely right about certain things. He's wrong about a lot of things, but I think he's got something's cooking here. He's quote unquote saying.
That's like saying if Alex Jones is right like 10% of the time. Bro.
Alex Jones is not even right 10% of the time, though. I'm just saying that's like literally Alex Jones is. But the comparison for Alex Jones in sports media is Skip fucking Bayless.
Yeah.
So Colin Cowherd is not nearly as bad.
I don't like him putting chemicals in the water that turn the frickin' players gay.
Dak Prescott this, Dak Prescott that. It's my turn. Alex Jones is Skip Bayless is the Alex Jones of the Fox Sports media. But I think what the point that he's made is if you're trying to sabotage a team, you do this. Draft a quarterback with limited upside. I do think that none of us think that Mac Jones is an elite quarterback. We think he's fairly average, right? Doesn't have the high upside.
Well,
yes,
for
average.
the record, I think Mac Jones is
we all think he's young Kirk Cousins.
Hey, fuck you! That's an insult to Kirk Cousins.
I know.
Considering how I know the situation Mac was in, but considering how he looked last season, that's kind of being kind to him.
Yeah, that's like fucking. That's like calling water, flat Sprite.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Another thing I likes to make. There's not a coach that is currently on that roster that is ready to take over when he leaves. Right? He could retire and the Patriots are fucked.
Yeah. Without Bill, the Patriots are like...
They're doomed. What, you're going to go with Bill O'Brien as your coach?
Belichick has lost a step or 5.
He has, but he and you're absolutely right. I think the Patriots need to go get a GM. You need a GM. It's not Belichick.
I think it's time for them to finally move on from Belichick.
They do. They need to move on from Belichick, and they need to bring in a GM to start that process. To at least, because I don't think you would fire Belichick. You would let Belichick retire.
No, I think it's time to finally cut bait and be like, thank you for,
Yeah, but Robert Kraft is never gonna cut bait. I think just Belichick, all those years, all those Super Bowls that he has won with the Patriots, you're going to let him retire with dignity. Same thing with Carroll. I don't want to fire Pete Carroll. I want Pete Carroll to retire as a Seahawk.
Here's my thing with Bill. Like, I think he deserves another season before I can say, yeah, he's done with. He should retire from being a coach. But as a GM, yeah, they need to get someone else a GM.
They need to get a GM for this group. You need to stop letting Bill have full control of the roster. One thing that he noted too, he has kids in the staff. His son is the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know. He's been the defensive coordinator.
Spend big money on average free agents. None of their free agents have been good.
Yeah, in the age of Nepo babies, it's really shocking how much of like family oriented the Patriots are.
Yeah. Belichick has his own kids in the staff. They spend big money on average free agents. They've let young, good players walk in free agency.
Well, I mean, look at their last draft pick in Cole Strange. It's like, yeah, Bill is very random with his decision making as GM.
Yeah. So even then, you could. I don't think it's like full on saboteuring. But it really feels like the Patriots, if they lose, they're in a position where they can and can't lose Bill Belichick. Because if you lose Bill Belichick, you're going to be talking how during the 2020s were the dark ages, where you lost Tom Brady. And then you had a quarterback that, hey, you did make the playoffs in his rookie season, but you never had that upside to take you guys to the next level. And then, your savant of a coach retired, and you have no plan, and you're just left going, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Here's the thing, the Patriots right now, like, honestly, they're reminding me, and yes, I'm doing, this might be recency bias considering a recent video was made focusing on this era of this team, but they do remind me of the later years of, the later years of the Tom Landry Cowboys era, to be honest. They remind me of it.
Yeah. Personally, I was gonna go with the what the Los Angeles Kings had become by the time the late 2010s had rolled around.
But the Kings, I don't feel like there really is an accurate comparison to just the fact that the Patriots were not just a one-time dynasty. They were a multi-dynasty team that spanned over decades.
Yeah, I agree. It's just
dominance.
It's just human nature to
compare the Patriots to Manchester United after Ferguson left.
The Patriots right now.
I don't know about the Patriots though.
I feel like in terms of this, I know I mentioned. It's just the reason I feel that is I mentioned the Cowboys. I mentioned that era of the Cowboys is because the reason they were able. It's like, what's he trying to put this into words? It's like. The Patriots, when they inevitably move on from Bill at some point, they're gonna have to find their own version of a Jimmy Johnson, basically, in my opinion, and probably have to blow it up to smithereens.
The fact that you're gonna have to find two back-to-back legendary head coaches, it's tough, and you're gonna let Belichick retire, but when it does, you're gonna have to embrace probably a good 5 years of dark football.
Yeah, but take your lumps like everyone else. It's not.
It is, like,
you're not special.
It is. Every franchise goes through this. But can you imagine yourself as a Patriots fan? You've missed the playoffs. 2 of the 3 past years. And this is coming off of a 20-year just utter dominance. And even then, you've also had Drew Bledsoe as your quarterback too. So it's not like they've had bad quarterbacks. They've had quality quarterbacks in that front organization for 30 years.
But it's like, like everybody rebuilds, everybody poops, and everybody has to be bad every once in a while.
Yeah. The Patriots are finally going to be a bad team when Belichick retires. And hell, you might already be started because if you just break this team down as a whole, who do you have?
I so can't wait for a team to, try and rehire Belichick to rekindle the magic of the 2010s and 2000s.
I think they're going to resemble the early Atlanta Falcons, and you're going to bring Belichick back for a year for shits and giggles.
Oh, you mean like 85 Bud Grant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think you're gonna bring Belichick back for 1 year because hey. But
no, I was thinking like personally like New Orleans Mike Ditka. Remember that disaster?
That was a disaster. But I honestly think the best thing for the Patriots to do is you're gonna have to wait until Belichick retires. You're gonna have to, or he gives up. The best thing to do is for Belichick to give up control as a GM and just be the coach. He'll be a great coach. He can coach a bunch of below average players to a fucking Super Bowl.
Can he though?
He did.
But like
3 times. I will have to see. And if
you know, like 50 years
like,
ago, my grandma, she ran the best hotel in southeast Minnesota, and now she's worm food.
Well, no, duh. But I'm just saying, at that point, your magic does wear off. But look, even with Mac Jones' limited upside, he's had some stellar games. His rookie season was pretty good. And then we saw for what he was in the second year because their offense was...
look at that film. He didn't look as great as you think he did.
Not as great, but I think better than most people perceive him to be. At some point, he was considered the best quarterback of that draft class.
I mean, he showed promise. He really did. Like, he showed a promise in his first year. It's just, I feel like it was under the expectation that, okay, second year he's going to take another jump. And the second year, he did not take another jump. In fact, he fell down a lot.
Yeah, he fell down a lot. I mean, you had a defensive coordinator and a guy that had 2 people that had no business trying to develop this player.
Yeah, I mean, that's also worth noting.
Yeah.
Like, the thing,
I'm sorry, but it kind of sounds to me like you're making excuses for...
I am making excuses because they're at this time they're actual excuses. That's what took him around. I want to see the Patriots be bad for a few years, but any team that is bad, there is a reason why they are the way they are. That's the huge point to note at. There is a reason why the Patriots were the way they were because they didn't implement hot routes until the end of training camp. When they should have had all these figured out. That's what OTAs are for. And they didn't figure it out till the end of training camp. That's not good. That's dangerous. Especially for a second-year quarterback. That's like, imagine if you're a rookie quarterback and you have no idea what your passing attack's going to look like until the end of training camp. You would be fucked.
Yeah. That feels like a great way to get your quarterback murdered on the field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think Belichick can coach a good defense, but, you're going to have to... I hate giving excuses for the Patriots, don't get me wrong, but let's be honest. There was reasons why they were bad. You just don't go, oh, we're just bad for no reason. They were bad because they had 2 people who were not supposed to be called offensive coordinators.
Technically, yeah, there were excuses, but at the same time, it's like, it makes the Patriots look fucking stupid.
It does.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
It does. It's not a good look for Belichick.
How many times were there, like, these like, games where they made, like, a really bad coaching decision, and it cost them the game, like against the Raiders.
That cough up, that fuck up was terrible.
I mean, that wasn't even coaching. That was just fucking stupid. Just run it, go out of bounds. Just take it to overtime.
That was bad situational awareness.
Who the hell told them not to kneel the ball?
I mean, you could again. That's having guys like Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as your coaches. They were bad.
I understand going for the win, but it's like in that situation, it's like don't throw the ball backwards like that.
Big time. We'll see what they can do this year, but I hope you take a step up. And the longer the Patriots go without a plan for the future, for the years that Belichick's going to retire, the longer this period of darkness is going to be. And, you know, hey, if they're lucky, Belichick retires at the end of this offseason. They're bad for 2 years, and they get the next Manning kid. Oh, God.
Arch Manning.
Oh,
They
man.
get Archie Manning.
Oh, geez.
And and knowing the football gods, they'll let it happen too.
Yes, that would be the ultimate pain.
That would be the ultimate pain. Or you're just god awful for the next few years and Archie Manning goes to Tennessee.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But as for you Patriots, come up with a plan, or you guys are going to be probably bad for the next decade.
Welcome back to Earth, New England.
Yeah,
This
but
is what
anyways, this is
Welcome
what
back to the 80s, New
the
England.
Cleveland Browns have had to deal with for just so many years. Isn't this fun?
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
The wicked witch. The wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Bye. We'll enjoy you being bad for the next 5-10 years. Have
And
fun
all the
being the
fan
new.
base
We're not gonna feel bad for you until it's like, okay, I guess you can make the playoffs for once. But give us 30 years to actually feel sympathy for you.
You're the new Cowboys. You're the new
Rip
Cowboys.
Bozo.
Yeah, I hope you're gonna be the next. You're gonna be like the 2000 Cleveland Browns, all the way to 2020. 20 years of darkness. That is what you deserve. And
20
be
years of
lucky that
darkness
it's 20 years of
imprisoning
darkness.
me. All that I see. Absolute horror. I cannot live.
I cannot die. Crashing myself.
Myself. Body, my holding cell.
Oh, Hell of One by Metallica. It's a good song. Alright, we have the last thing. It is baseball season in 5 days. 5 days.
Oh boy, time to buy some like way overpriced like peanuts and stuff, bro.
Actually, baseball, as far as I know, like the Mariners concessions have been fairly fair. They have tickets that are like $10, and they're making that. They were limited. They were doing it for like majority of select games. They're doing it $10 is like the baseline now for Mariners games.
No kidding.
They want bums in seats. And that's the goal for baseball. I think for competitive baseball teams, it's about bums in seats.
You can say ass, I believe.
I'm sorry, but I'm quoting Shorzy.
Oh.
Shorzy's great. Then baseball especially for competitive baseball teams, even if for small markets, right? If you're not at least filling the stadium up with fans, it's not really worth fielding a competitive team just to have it half full some of the times.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, it's like from an owner perspective, it's not good to have that. So
Yeah.
it's about bums and seats, boys.
It's highly unadvisable.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to talk about their team's spring training and their fellow youngins? Who wants to go first?
I forgot to watch spring training. Oops.
I'm gonna go first, mostly because All right, so I'm gonna as you all know, I'm from the Bay Area, and my main team is the San Francisco Giants. So they're a team that I've covered from spring training. Overall, like taking the record, our spring training was, I'd say, mid. We had like a 14-14 record. And while we've shown promise, we've had games where we scored like a bunch of runs. I still think, spring training, but yeah, there's some things we still need to address, like shortstop. I think there's one intriguing question we have. By the way, one of our best prospects right now, the one that's most likely gonna like make a big impact is, hold on, let me
He cut out.
Yeah, where are you?
Aiden?
Where
In the
are
chat.
you?
Oh, my bad.
And I'm so sorry.
My bad. So yeah, one of our best prospects, Casey Schmidt. They say he's most likely gonna be given a major league call up. He's one of our like one of our top prospects. And from what I remember, he's a Bay Area native. The big problem though is he is a he, he is a third he's a he mostly plays third base, but we do have a hole at shortstop that we want him to fill to eventually replace Brandon Crawford. However, it's noted that he's played decently at shortstop in the minors, so hopefully with a bit more seasoning, he could make our he could make our lineup, our major league lineup. As for moves, well, overall the Giants have been, well, Zaidi, our general manager, has talked about keeping things internal, like if instead of like going for blockbuster trades and waiver wire pickups following spring training, we're most likely gonna trust our prospect pool and fill in our needs by promoting guys, improving our bullpen and our fielding. There's most likely gonna be another another Moneyball esque kind of building. So, I'd say, of course, people are still gonna like mock us for missing out on Judge and Correa, but
I think Correa, you get a pass on Correa. If he lasts only 1 year, there's a reason why you didn't sign him to all that money. You get a pass on Carrera, the guy that said Aaron Judge was going to play for the Giants. Oh, I'd want him dead.
Yeah, well, either way, like people are gonna mock us for that, but I think it might not be that bad. I don't know if we'll be able. I think we'll have a solid roster. We'll have a decent team, but I mean, the once again, the big problem with the Giants is that we don't really have like a guy with that sort of oomph, a guy who could take us to the next level, like a high-end talent, so to speak. So we're gonna have to play like a really solid game. Hopefully, we can build on from a spring training and at the very least try to get a wild card because there's no freaking way we're gonna get past the Dodgers or the Padres in the division standings. But I'm an optimist. We'll see how it goes.
All right. I guess talk your truth about the Seattle Mariners, buddy.
I have a lot to say. There's like a nice gonna break open my little scroll here.
Oh boy.
Gonna put on my reading glasses. The Seattle Mariners, after making the playoffs last year, we have goals in our mind. We have lots of goals in mind. One of the things.
But Lucas, in baseball, they're called home runs.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, God.
Shut up. Shush. Okay. Shush. All right. I know they're called home runs. No shit, they're called home runs.
It was funny.
I know. The thing to really note about the Seattle Mariners this year is they don't quite have the prospect pool that they used to have. It was a very, very rich prospect pool that allowed them to get a guy like Luis Castillo. They were able to get Enio Suarez for basically nothing. And they got Gino for nothing. They got Colton Wong from the Brewers this year for Jesse Winkler and Abraham Toro, who just... Again, Jesse Winkler, he wasn't necessarily bad. It really just felt like he couldn't The AL West wasn't really the right conference for him to play against, per se. It was tough, especially, when you're dealing with different climates. It's not like Cincinnati where you're probably playing a higher climate. You're playing lesser competition like the Pirates.
You mean Milwaukee?
No, Jesse Winkler was in Cincinnati before he got traded to Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a good player. He's got a good player, but he was a luxury item for the Mariners. We got able to shore up our infielder with Colton Wong as a prospect. He's done pretty good. We both have both brothers on the team, so that's something really exciting to see. They also got Teoscar Hernandez for not a relatively high prospect, and Eric Swanson, who he was good, but his stats were kind of rather inflated because he was somebody that benefited from a really good bullpen, didn't have to play in a whole lot of clutch situations, and was able to flourish because of a great support around him. He didn't pitch it in a lot of key situations where it's like at the 9th inning, you're up by a few runs, and you need to be able to win those consistently, and I don't think he was able to win those in a necessary consistent manner. That's why you shipped him to the Jays. You get better depth than Teoscar Hernandez, and you got Teoscar Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez, and hopefully we're praying to God that Jarrett Kelenic is ready. He had an outstanding spring training this year. Very different from last year. Last year, he never got going until the last week, and that, especially if you're still trying to find your groove late into spring training, you need to be sent down to AAA for a year. He never stuck on, but when we brought him back in September, he was amazing. So maybe, just maybe, this is the year he breaks out. I've got a lot of hope in him. I think he's going to do great. We have enough depth to cover for him. Unfortunately, we're not going to have Cole Calhoun. We've optioned him to Tacoma, but he has since declined and is now a free agent, so we won't have him around. But we do have Tony La Stella around. We'll still have an outstanding back-catching depth in Tom Murphy and Cal Raleigh. Hopefully Cal Raleigh won't have to, play the majority of the games. They're able to bounce back. You still have J.P. Crawford and Ty France who are really good. They got a lot of really great players, and it's all about if they can put a group of hitting together. Pitching is really interesting because the Mariners could roll out with 6 starting pitchers. All of them, at this 6-heading behemoth is tough to play against. Even if it's like a 4-game set and you've got Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, good luck. That's tough for any team to deal with. And you still got Marco Gonzalez, a really good off-speed guy. And you also have Chris Flexen, who's really good, who's probably going to be pitching a couple games early in the season before he gets back to a backup spot, or they just trade him away. He is a good pitcher he's a starting pitcher for a team that needs starting pitching. We don't necessarily need that, especially since the Mariners have 2 guys waiting in Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller had a really good spring training, but we're going to let him develop a lot more, and he too could come to the show this year. That's something that's incredible. The fact that the Mariners will have 3 of their pitchers as homegrown talents. Is going to be incredible to see. Their bullpen is still just as deadly as before. It's all in, can this hitting group put it together, and is it enough to beat Houston? My problem with it is that they got really good fastballs and velocities, but Houston's really good at hitting fastballs. They don't like off-speed stuff, and the Mariners don't have guys that can do off-speed consistently. Sure, Marco Gonzalez can play a game or two that can stifle them, but not enough consistently, which is the biggest struggle that I feel the Mariners are going to have to deal with. Thank God you don't have to play the Astros 21 times a year. It's just 13. There's not really a point in their schedule where it's like brutal. I think their toughest is like late May and early June. So this is a team that might not need to have a 14-game winning streak for people to look at and go, wow, that's like a big win streak for the Mariners to get themselves back into the competitive position. They should be a competitive team all year long. That doesn't mention that they also have a really good back catcher in Harry Ford. He's probably going to be in Double-A this year. Who, if the Mariners need something, they might have to trade him. So I think it's all about reloading the farm this year. Try to get more grown talents in the drafts. But, hopefully this is the year the Mariners can put together. They got a lot of goals, and if Scott Service has learned his lesson. If not, well, they'll be a good team, but you're just going to scratch your head. Is it enough against Houston? I think the Mariners have one more year of, it's okay if they don't go that far, but at TLDR from a Leafs fan, best get over your hump soon, or it's going to be a brutally frustrating time. The Mariners are a fun team to watch. Don't let the Mariners become an unfun team to watch. Should be really fun. I can't wait. Best of luck to the Mariners this year.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next. So the Cubs have had a very interesting spring training. I'll say they did pretty well. I mean, they went 16-12. Had some impressive performances here and there. So all in all, I would say a successful spring training for what it is. In terms of prospects, the main star of the prospect pool that we really saw in spring training was Hayden Wesneski. He started some last year because of our injuries to our pitching rotation, and he did really well. But given it was limited starts, there was obviously the debate, just limited starts. Should he really become a full time part of our rotation? Which, I mean, not that the potential wasn't there, because it clearly was. So that was a big question entering spring training, and he, safe we say, he more than delivered in the spring training. He had an ERA up 2.12, got 3 wins, had 22 strikeouts in 5 games. So all in all, a great spring training for him. And from all I've heard, he will be a part of the starting pitching rotation for the Cubs on opening day, which is great to see because he's more than earned it. And I mean, there was a reason why he was our number 5 prospect, and honestly, considering how he did, he might be higher than 5 in my opinion. Other prospects, Brennan Davis, which has been a prospect Cubs fans have been interested in basically ever since we blew up the 2016 core, because he showed a lot of promise. I mean, last year, he probably would have been on the Cubs roster, would have been playing in the majors last year had it not been for injuries setting him back last year. And it did show, because he struggled in the minors last year, mainly because he was still trying to recover from those injuries. But there is promising stuff with him, because this preseason, batting, he did well. I mean, from what I saw, he did well. Here we go. Where is it? There we go. Don't mind me just trying to get ESPN to fucking work while these flies fly around. Brennan Davis, though, he did pretty well in spring training. OPS in the over 750, I like that. I mean, it's going to be a wait-and-see game with him, because he is in the center field, and not going to lie, we do have a good amount of, players in the field, center field and stuff. Christopher Morel, who had a great spring training, 275 average, 928 OPS, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. He had a great spring training. He was one of the highlights, one of the emerging highlights from last season for Chicago. Cody Bellinger, which, there's still a lot of questions with Cody. He's had some shining moments in preseason, but obviously, I mean, he hasn't been the same since really 2019, so I mean, really going to be interesting to see how he does because obviously Wrigley Field gives the hitter more of an advantage, and that will definitely help someone like Cody who has power but really can be very Joey Gallo-esque type of player in my opinion. Ian Happ is back, who also had a great spring training. So obviously the field up there is loaded, like the center field, center left, all that stuff. It's like outfield's loaded. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, considering Seiya Suzuki is still out with injury. He should be back in April, which will be a huge return for the Cubs when he gets back. So that will be great to see. I mean, other prospects, obviously, our big prospect that every Cubs fan loves is Pete Crow Armstrong, he's been great in the minors. Like, obviously, he still needs more time. Probably won't be in the majors till 2024. But getting him in that Javier Baez trade, which has become seeing how Armstrong is like PCA has done, has definitely come back to haunt Mets fans so far. So very excited to see him continue to develop, and also Kevin Alcantara or Tara. He'll probably be another potential 2024 call up, and he had a strong spring training, even stronger than Pete had. So that's very promising. As for the Cubs, like just in general, like the lineup will probably have. I mean, I can see Morel playing. Trey Mancini will definitely be in the lineup. He had a great spring training. Obviously, he had a strong season last year. Nico Horner at either second base or shortstop. I mean, he'll be playing with Dansby Swanson, who, I mean, I don't need to introduce Dansby Swanson, but he didn't really have a good spring training, but at the same time, it's just spring training. And he is a very impressive fielder, so that will him and Nico will make for a very strong defensive unit. I think Patrick Wisdom, who's been one of those guys who I feel it's been on the chopping block for the Cubs. He's not a bad player, but considering what the Cubs have upcoming, it's like, yeah, going to be very interesting to see how long he lasts. But hey, he had an impressive spring training, so he should be on the opening day roster. I mean, Eric Hosmer, which will be our first baseman for the time being until Matt Mervis is ready to be called up, which Matt Mervis is another prospect that I feel is very close to being major league ready. He still needs a bit more time, but Hosmer will fill his void for the time being. And and obviously I feel like the big question with the Cubs, with the batting, we still gotta see when Suzuki, which he'll be back in April, which will be obviously great for us, but I already mentioned that. I guess if there's anything where it gets more interesting, the pitching for the Cubs is going to be very interesting. I already talked about Wisniewski, but Marcus Stroman will be our number one guy this season, which I think is well deserved. He looked great in spring training. He had a strong season last season. He was great once he got healthy from his injuries. Jameson Italian. I still have trouble pronouncing his last name, but it is what it is. He'll be our number 3 guy.
Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Justin Steele will probably be our 4th guy, and I think Drew Smiley,
Smiley.
Yep. Okay, there we go. He'll be our 5th guy. I mean, he had a pretty he did well last year, much to the dismay of Braves fans. So that will be interesting to see how he does. But obviously, the bullpen, however, is going to be very fun to watch because last year our bullpen was definitely, especially after we traded Robertson away to the Phillies, it was pretty bad. But there were some bright spots, and one of them was Javier Assad, who, I mean, if anyone who watched the World Baseball Classic probably saw him do well with Team Mexico. He did great for them, and looking at how he was used in spring training, definitely looks like he'll be on the opening day roster, along with Keegan Thompson, who I hope does well.
Sorry about that, guys.
Hello.
Oh, just in time.
No.
It's just in time for me to ramble
you
about the Cubs. But yeah, Keegan Thompson, who was a starting pitcher for us and did pretty well, but I guess he might be getting relegated to being part of the bullpen, which I'm okay with. I mean, I think that's fine. We need more arms in our bullpen, and yeah, so it's like, in terms of just pure talent perspective, the Cubs are definitely stronger than they were last season, in my opinion. Like, obviously, we made moves in the offseason, but yeah, Cubs should be in a better position come opening day and the start of season. As for my expectations for this team, it's like, honestly, my expectations would be higher if it wasn't for all the changes being made to the MLB this season in terms of things like the pitch clock, the shift getting banned and stuff. It's like there's a lot. The reason I'm saying this is like I feel like there's definitely a good amount of uncertainty with how this will affect like pitchers and just purely how batters will do and stuff. This can have an interesting effect on how
It
certain players
is.
do. And that's why I'm kind of
is.
that's why I'm modest with my expectations for this Cubs team. So it's like I would love it. I think there is a possibility they could end up being a wild card team. I think that's the ceiling. But my modest expectations for this team is I hope the Cubs can be a winning baseball team. They can have a winning record. Like if we're in the 80s, like the 80 win total, I'll be happy with that.
Sounds good.
I guess that just leaves me, huh?
Well, didn't Neil join?
They left.
Ah.
Yeah.
I guess that just leaves me, huh?
I didn't like my North Side rambling.
And, oh boy. The Milwaukee Brewers. From what I've seen from spring training, it's another year of the Brewers. It's starting to feel like talking to somebody, it just doesn't. It just feels like we're asking the same questions about the Brewers over and over again. Like the pitching's good, but is anything else? Are the bats gonna be hot when they need to be? Is Christian Yelich gonna be serviceable, or is he gonna flame out? What prospect are we gonna trade for? What star player are we going to trade for prospects? Are we a rebuilding team, or are we going to aim for something higher? Just a very kind of, they're very much stuck in a place where they think they can compete, and I'm not sure they can because, well, it kind of felt like their last chance was the bubble, and it just kind of feels like they've accepted their role as the designated doormat for whoever is gonna end up winning the NL. Which not a terrible thing to not a terrible fate if you don't mind that, but it kind of seems like the Milwaukee Brewers should be aiming a bit higher than that. Higher than just being, oh, we're this team now. The big question is, who are we as a team? Like, are we the same team in 2018 that will be kind of the fun team to watch and drink beer to and have like roll out the barrel and that kind of fun stuff, or are we gonna have to face the music and deal with the long, brutal rebuild? Sorry if I'm rambling. It's just this team makes me ramble sometimes.
If I'd wanted to comment on something, I gotta say, and I've seen Milwaukee fans make this comparison, but the Brewers right now, especially with the way ownership seems to be treating them, it feels like they're reminding me a lot of like the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s Milwaukee Bucks. That's what they're reminding me of, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the one thing I like to add too is that you got Jesse Winkler and Abraham Toro. If Toro has something there, That's a solid guy. Especially if you might have reloaded an extra out power hitter in Jesse Winker. And if you can get Toro going, you could have, that's already a much better hitting core. And I've heard that Colton Wong did struggle last year. So if if you got two guys that can be regular MLBers to be quality hitters, I think you will be pretty fine.
Yeah, it's just like, so I know there is another Brewers fan among this fan among this group chat, who I will refrain from naming, to preserve their dignity, and they can be a bit of a downer sometimes, and sometimes that can be a little toxic, and it gets to me.
I know. But here's the thing: I'd be more optimistic because I will say this. There's something in Toro. I think Jesse Winkler. He's someone that will draw walks. He led the league in drawing walks last year. He's got the potential to do that for you. If he's not hitting homers, he's drawing walks, and that's a guy on base. That's a potential run as well. So, if he does very well, that's a guy you can sell for lots of prospects and try to have a really good prospect pool that'll be ready in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, you make a pretty good point, and also, I will be referring to him as Tinky Winky because that is objectively funny.
It is funny. Jesse Winkler likes to play against the Mets, and I think he's in a better place, being in the NL versus the AL. So, I think he's just in a better place too. You also have Toro, and if there's just we've seen it. If you look at 2021 Abraham Toro, his time with Seattle it's something that is, maybe if he's actually hits to his ceiling, that's a quality ball player that the Brewers will have. So, it's not all doom and gloom. I get it's pretty bad because no one ever wants to be dragged kicking and screaming into a rebuild. As a Mariners fan, I hated that because you'd rather win than lose. But then when you're losing, it's very important to focus on your youngins. How are our youngins doing the ACL, DCL, low A, high A, double A, triple A?
Oh yeah, we do have an interesting prospect in the double A who is said to be like a really high-end prospect, especially, he's been lighting up Biloxi like something fierce. This guy by the name of Jackson Chorio.
Yeah, he might be in AAA. So it's really important to just keep an eye on your minor league systems. As your young players, they progress. You're going to see a lot of really good stats from their higher end prospects in these leagues, and these are guys that you can get really excited about. Like especially for the Mariners, we have about 7 or 8 guys that we are really excited, and probably one of them didn't really make it. So there are guys that are going to be exciting and fun to watch. It's sure being in a rebuild is never fun, but when you're in a rebuild, your focus should really be on your minor league teams. How are our youngins doing? As long as your youngins are progressing through the tiers, I think there's really nothing to worry about. The worst part to be is the Oakland Athletics. They have no prospects that are worth... They've got like a small handful of prospects now that they're worth mentioning. And they have the lowest payroll in the league despite being the second most profitable team in baseball. That's disgusting what the Athletics are doing. But at least the Brewers are like, we have to be rebuilding. But let's look to these young guys and, encourage that we do develop them. That's the purpose of especially a baseball rebuild. Let's focus on the youths. How are our youths doing? Do we have 7 or 8 prospects that, if we just wait on them for 1 or 2 years, will they actually hit the big times? And can they sustain the big leagues? And especially with homegrown talent, as we've learned in any sport, is dynasties and championships. Don't forget that. Most championship teams are homegrown talents.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Yankees when they build through the draft, and the Yankees when they build through free agency.
Well, not only that, there's minor league signings that where other teams have given up. They see something in them, and they actually properly grow and develop them. That's the big thing too. A lot of small market teams, they have to build through the minor leagues. Now big market teams see the importance of what a minor league is. And look at the Dodgers, one of the top teams that also have one of the top teams, the top prospect pools out there. Oh, that just sounds so much fun for baseball fans. There's a huge importance on why you need to invest in your minor league systems. Because that's how you reload your championship core and teams. And that's the most important thing to really take note of.
I feel like though
Oh, let's just finish. I'll let you go, Nick.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the main fear that I would say that Brewers fans should have, honestly, is is this team becoming, considering, and I'm gonna use this analogy because like it's just the Brewers. I already made the Bucks comparison because of how mediocre Milwaukee was all those years. It feels like Milwaukee is like the Brewers. This would be the worst case scenario for them. Is the Brewers end up becoming the Midwest Rockies? Like that would be the worst case scenario for them, in my opinion.
That because then not only does your owner just not give a shit about your team, he doesn't give a shit about your minor league system. And there's sadly too many owners that are in the MLB right now that just don't give a shit. They don't care. It's all about making money. Where if you see why the Dodgers and the Astros, the Yankees will always be profitable, why they will always sell out every single game, is because they invest in their teams and the minor leagues. It is critically important. And the hope is that if small market, the hope is that with small market teams, that even with the new rules, if they can get bums in seats at the stadium, that is where you're hoping for. Because what's the point of having your team play in a 5,000 seated ballpark that only fills about 10,000 every night? That's pretty bad. There's so
5,000 that fills 10. If you're filling a 5,000 seat stadium to 10,000, that's like really good, by the way.
That's considered really good, but remember how you could sell out games on a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Now teams can't do that anymore.
I'm just saying you made a little bit of an oopsie.
Well, yeah. Well, my oopsie is that you want to have at least 75 capacity on average for your team. For me as an owner, if I was an owner of a baseball team, if I can't sell at least 75% of my tickets and have 75% of my seats filled, I would never be a baseball owner. I couldn't do it because it's just not worth it. You have to put in about $200 to $300 million in your baseball operations as a whole, and if you can't fill seats, why bother investing in your team? I would have a shitty payroll like the Athletics because I don't have to invest and I'm making millions of dollars. So it's important that, especially a lot of small market teams, if they can start improving, ticket sales, fans to the games when they actually invest, and maybe these changes that baseball is bringing does help the game grow. It is good. Baseball might be back, or the worst fears could imagine where baseball is just relegated to you watch the Great October Dance, and everything else is irrelevant.
I think MLS is about to eat their lunch.
Oh, MLS is a growing sport in North America.
Whoa, what the hell was that?
Is that from me? Anyways, let's. Oh, there we go.
What the hell was that?
That was weird. All right,
ghosts.
Go. But last thing I want you to really know, I hope these changes do add a lot to baseball. I hope this is the right step in the direction, because otherwise the October dance is the baseball is gonna be all about the October dance, and it's gonna be relegated to the fun events like the Kentucky Derby, March Madness, and fucking what was it? Redneck racing or like the Olympics, where it's like you don't watch the teams work their way there. You're just gonna watch the teams that have already made it. So that's where baseball's in danger of.
But yeah, this podcast, it's haunted. Woo!
Anyways, that'll do it for this week's episode. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. Today, I think next week we are live at 11 a.m. Sunday. I think it's
2 p.m. for any of our Eastern Standard Time listeners.
Non-based Coast Time listeners.
Hey, Fresh Coast is Based Coast. Fuck off.
Out.
West Coast is best coast. It's 11 a.m. next week, so we will be live at 11. I would do Sea Dragons at Arlington if that game was like at 10, but I will be at work for the whole duration of the game, so we won't be able to do the watch along Friday night.
But don't worry, we have the old Mastora bar,
Yep, the bar will be open for Saturday for I'm gonna be DC and Orlando. It's gonna be delayed start, so I'm gonna watch.
And of course, we have Hockey Night in Canada
as well as that. We've got Hockey Night as well. I'll be watching the Brahmas and Vipers at work, and I think for future streams, it's going to be we're just going to continue our once a week until... week 9's our doubleheader. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, join the dang Discord, dudes.
Yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already. Links in the description below. And we will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. I'll also be live with Pokemon Insurgents Nuzlocke. So hopefully I can go further in that. If not, I'll cry. Bye!